In this video, I want to talk about the inherent and implied insecurity and fragility from which our normal human identity or normal human self and normal human behavior is constructed upon. And how on the surface this might seem like, a really great thing. It's really functional and it's the norm and it's what we should and ought to do. Yet upon just 30 seconds of reflection, we can see that it's actually based on subtle forms of violence and subtle forms of division. It actually sets us up for mostly a lifetime of defensiveness, insecurity, fear, and contraction. So in short, I've had the idea for a while now that really the ego, or our normal human self that we identify with, is mostly just contraction. And how we know that we exist, how we know that we are doing or trying or being or existing, is mostly through anxiety and contraction, meaning physical muscular tension. People say, oh, listen up. And people are like, I'm listening. Or it's like, on another note, people think that, worry, oh, this thing might happen, so I better make myself feel like crap, and then maybe it won't. Or wait, this thing might happen tomorrow, so I need to feel horrible right now, and then maybe it won't happen. That's kind of the logic that is happening there, and we all do it, and it's considered normal. And if you don't do it, people are like, well, what's wrong with you? You have a cold heart, or you're just a jerk, or you just don't really care. You're just not really trying. You're just not really lazy. And that was personally something that I was accused of my entire life. So, oh, you're just lazy. And especially in playing sports and whatnot, people would just say, oh, you're just really lazy. You're not really trying. Even though perhaps I was, winning. For example, in track and field, I would run the 400. And basically in junior high, what I would do is just sort of jog and keep up with everyone and stay even for the first 300, and for the last 100, 200 meters, I would just actually sprint and then just win every time. And people say, oh, that's lazy. You have to try the whole time. It's like, well, why? I just won. There's no real, we're not really keeping time. So what's the point? And then other instances would say, oh, you're not really trying, because I outwardly was and really holding a lot of, muscular physical contraction, trying to look really miserable, trying to just relax. And actually, because believe it or not, if you're running long distances, getting uptight and getting relaxed is not in your best interest. It's actually going to hinder your ability to keep going, which is in some ways a metaphor for life. So basically what I'm talking about with the inherent and implied insecurity and fragility is that we basically have this thing which is an accumulation of a lot of past pain, trauma, a lot of preferences and biases that really shape who we are. And that's ultimately what the ego is, aside from what I said before about sort of just a conglomeration or an amalgamation of a bunch of pain, fear, contraction, and anxiety and muscular tension. Because when we have experiences where we feel really relaxed and open, our sense of self tends to go too. Whether that's through yoga or meditative experiences or sexual experiences or artistic experiences or romantic love, movies, books, tons of things, we lose our sense of self, and then we don't really feel so contracted anymore. Or we have a cathartic experience, and then, and part of the reason why is where some of that tension is being released. So the real point and the real meat of what I'm talking about here is the fact that we develop all these things. Oh, I like this, I like that, I am this, I am that. I'm a liberal, Democrat, Zen, progressive, pescatarian, gluten-free. I like the Chicago Bulls, and I like this sports team, and I like that, and I like this music, and I like this type of car, and this type of clothing, and this type of this, and this type of that. And I think these are the great behaviors, and these are the bad behaviors, and I think the world would be better if it was like these criterias, and the world's bad because of these criterias. And basically we develop all these lists and all these criterias from which we just start checking in with reality. Oh, how's it going? Hold on. Wait, this list isn't really panning out. Oh, maybe I need a new list. Oh, but this list is panning out, so I'm happy. I'm great. Everything is just going exactly how I thought it would. And then if it isn't, I don't know. It's just horrible. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's really going on right now. Just like right now, there's like a loud truck on my street, but it's like 7 a.m., so what do you expect? So we think all these things are great. You know, I like this sports team. I'm a member of this religious, spiritual, new agey cult. I eat this kind of way. I have these political beliefs. I like this sports team. I like these kinds of clothes. I enjoy this sexual preference. I enjoy these kinds of relationships. We build and build and build and build and build all these things, and then we accumulate them, and it's just this huge thing we're carrying around in life that if anyone says anything, the whole house of cards often comes down. Oh, what? Oh, who are you to say that? Fuck you, man. I'm a liberal. You're a conservative. You're stupid. It's your party that's ruining the country. And we get into these ridiculous arguments, or obviously the example I just gave is silly and absurd, but how often are we just triggered by people, places, things, situations, and go into some reactive form of emotionality? And a lot of people are going to hear that and think I'm talking about some kind of new age, suppress our humanity, suppress our emotions, and be this like emotionless robot where you're like, hi everyone, I'm so nice and compassionate. I'm so full of joy and abundance. And you turn into kind of like a psychopath because you're just so abundantly happy, and you studied marketing and read so many positive self-help books. It's like it's not really the point either. Perhaps it is just being okay with, oh yeah, I mean, I do have all these biases. I do have all this ridiculousness. Wow. Okay, this is all here. And actually, you know, I'm not even going to get into the how, because that's a completely different thing, and I don't even really want to talk about that. It's kind of not even what I wanted to get into. I just wanted to make that quick illustration to probably trigger some people, which is ironic and kind of the point of the video as well. And also point out that that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about some sort of like stone Buddha where everything happens and you're just like, I don't care. Nothing bothers me. I have no feelings. It's not really what I'm talking about either. But what I'm pointing at here is that pretty much when you say, this person's holy and I really look up to them, you're basically saying subtly that everyone else is shit. Everyone else's behavior is pretty crappy and they should be different or better. Or when you say, I'm a liberal progressive and I am just so I'm just so open and I just know everything, you're basically saying everyone not of that crowd is shit. Or we say, oh, I'm a conservative and I like Rush Limbaugh and George Bush is amazing and Ronald Reagan and it's the damned poor people that are ruining our country. Then you're basically saying kind of a bit more obviously that everyone else is shit and you have the one true way. And if only everyone was like you, the world would be better. There's a lot of violent people in history who believe the exact same thing. If we study history and dictators and wars and genocides, that's usually what people think. And people say, oh, well, this is what I think, this is the thing, get on board. No, I don't really want to get on board. All right, you're gone. Can you see a little bit how that can lead to violence? But this is our identity. This is what we're walking around with all the time. And we've developed all of this baggage about who we are and about what life is and what it means and why we have to do things. And honestly, it can get to such a point to where people can't even eat breathe, sleep, take a shit, have sex without just a list. People can't relate without a list. People cannot put on clothes without the list. Well, where am I going to go? What am I going to look like? What am I going to do? Who's going to think? And what are they going to see? And what am I going to do? And I have to present this. And it's Tuesday. And on Tuesday I do this. And all these things are just running. Maybe we're conscious of it. Maybe we're not. The fact is, it's a drain. And sure, it might give us, oh, this is who I am. And I really like this. And it makes me feel great. But also, we don't see the fact that we have to really put in energy to upkeep it. And we have to be defensive and on guard against the things which may challenge it, which is a lot of things. Because if we just walking around in life like kind of a thief, just accumulating, oh, this is this and this is that, that's not really real, natural, or harmonious, or how the world works. So inherently, that's going to cause a bit of challenge, a bit of discord, a bit of probably stress and struggle. Which brings us to the deeper point, which is, it's not that we ought to not have these. And unfortunately, as I illustrated earlier, that's usually the conclusion that people arrive at. Oh, I should have no preferences. I should have no attachments. I should have no feelings, no opinions, no nothing. I should just be really nice and compassionate and happy all the time to everyone, because that's what the world is. The world is love. Maybe, in a certain way. Maybe that's also missing the point. I don't know. But the real point of what I'm trying to get at, aside from probably triggering and making fun of people, and people think he's a fucking asshole. How dare you say that stuff? That's holy. Compassion and love are the best. Don't say anything silly about them. Right. So really, the major point of what I'm saying is that perhaps there are things about us that are natural and inherent. They don't really require defensiveness, effort, work, responsibility, upkeep. They're just who we are. It's just kind of what we do naturally. It's kind of just what we like. It's like, eventually eating is really easy and natural, but it's also kind of a discipline. I mean, it takes a bit of, skill. Sleeping is also natural, but it also does take a bit of skill to sort of be a little bit aware of what works for us and a little bit aware of just certain simple basic things. Maybe we have a certain natural inclination towards playing a musical instrument or a particular artistic medium. We're naturally inclined to it, and it might kind of take a little bit of just discipline or intention or effort to really cultivate and nurture that. We have a garden, and the earth does pretty much all the work. Like, when it comes to that, we do pretty much nothing. Like, we didn't make the seeds. We don't know how they actually grow. We don't have really any say in that. And basically, we just do a little rearranging of things, and oh wow, I'm such a good gardener. When in reality, probably the best gardeners do the least, because the more we can just allow nature to run its course, do its thing, and through intelligence, through observation, through the actual perception and subtle sensitivity of our being, of who we are, which is greater than any instrument, greater than any discipline or tool, greater than any intellectual parasite or cult or whatever. And the thing is that all these things basically hinder the natural expression and functioning of that intelligence that is who we are. That's not something we have to get or we have to go somewhere and obtain. It's what we are actually already. We just have to stop fucking it up, actually, and like getting in the way and kind of ruining it and just peeing all over it. Because people think we have to do all these things for love or perfection or transcendence or beauty, magic. Oh, I gotta do my vision board so I can get my magic happening, or I gotta meditate and I gotta bring all of this baggage and all this lists and all these criteria and all this effort and contrivance and force and stress and anxiety and fear and worry, and control what's going to happen. If I don't do something, then who will? And I learned this, all this stuff. But actually, it's already here. It's already right in front of us. We don't have to do anything. And usually all of the doing, that kind of ruins it, so we don't see it. And then we think, oh yeah, I got to just keep working. I just got to find the right paradigm because this clearly isn't here. When in actuality, our body, in so many things in life, which we put labels on and think, oh yeah, we got this, got that figured out. But we have no idea how it actually works. Do we have any idea the intelligence that it can take to just drink water? I mean, I didn't make the cup. I didn't make the water. I don't even really know. I wouldn't know how to make water. I can maybe figure out how to make a cup, but not out of glass. It'd take a long time. I didn't make any of those. And then the ancestral biological just intelligence that's inherent in my organism that knows to swallow. And then my stomach knows, and the rest of my organs in my body know what to do and process the water and do all these things which I can't even understand and relate to because it's just so many, probably millions or billions of complex processes happening like that in an instant. That's a really not a very good snap. Happening in an instant. And I have no idea. And then in a little bit, I'll probably have to go pee. I don't know how to do that. If I sit here and think, okay, I have to pee soon. I did just drink all that liquid. What happens if I don't pee soon? What? Oh my God. And literally, people live like that. Well, I just ate all that food. And, well, is it going to digest? Well, I don't know. I mean, I read online that maybe that type of food isn't really that great. I don't know. Oh, God, I better do something. And then we have a lot of the health industry is just exactly, well, wait, I read that this thing's this, but I don't know. Anyways, without probably offending people more and making fun of things, which if you're watching this video and you're getting mad and triggered and thinking I'm an asshole, then it's kind of reaffirming and validating exactly the entire point of the video, which is the inherent defensiveness and violence that comes from all these things that we consider as normal human behavior. And we could ask and consider, is it really enjoyable? Like, is this really a great way to live life? I don't know. I'm not here to offer any kind of guidance. Just asking a question and pointing out the fact that many things happen in life that we don't really have to do anything for, really. I mean, there's a little bit of, maintenance and intelligence, but life is mostly taking care of all of it. Anyways, this video is way longer than I had originally anticipated because literally I just woke up, which is why I'm really dressed up right now and drinking water. You heard a bunch of racket out on the street, which is probably offending some people. Oh, his videos are so shitty. Why can't you just do it in a quiet room? Ugh, noise. It's like, really? There's no noise in your world? And there's never any trucks where you live? There's never any background noise where you live? Because the YouTube video has to be perfect and pristine and professional. Okay, sometimes, but again, it's just kind of your bias. Yeah, that's it. Anyways, oh yeah, I was also thinking about having a stack of money, here, and I don't have any alcohol or cigarettes, but I wanted to have them here and just have all these really offensive, triggering things, or a Bible, satanic Bible or something, and just have all this stuff in the background. While I'm talking about people being triggered and offended easily, then having all this stuff, people, oh, he's a jerk. He cares about money. Oh, he believes the Bible? Ew. Or, oh my God, the satanic Bible? Is he a Satanist? Oh. But again, my appearance is probably just enough. He's like, wait, he has on a black hoodie and a black toboggan. He's not really shaven. This guy clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't even take care of his physical appearance. Oh my God. Or he's in his kitchen right now filming a video on his MacBook. He can't be for real. Because if he was for real, he would have had a professional studio set up in his house. He would have lighting, would have an expensive camera, and then he wouldn't just do this thing. like he's doing now, and it can't be. He can't be true. He can't be telling it's anything real. And the fact that I talk in stupid voices and make fun of things probably discredits me even more, which is fun, which is hilarious. That's just something I naturally do, which is just like trigger people. I don't know. It's too easy sometimes. But yeah, it's funny. It's hilarious to me. And to be clear, I do have a really good camera. I just can't be bothered to set it up. It's pretty much the moral of the story. Anyways, it's like 8 a.m. and I got other things to do, like drink water and have breakfast. So hopefully you enjoy this video, and I'll talk to you soon.